Aukey were kind enough to send me this 1080p Wi-Fi action camera for review. This camera is model AC-WC1. This is how it arrives in the box. So opening up the box, we've got the camera inside the waterproof case. Quite a lot of mounts and adapters. So I'll take these all out and then we'll go through them one by one. This camera comes with way more in the way of accessories than I expected it to. So as well as the camera in a waterproof case, we've got another back. So if you can take this back off, put this back on, and it will allow sound into the camera, so it will record better sound. Obviously with that on, it's not waterproof anymore. This thing here allows you to take the camera out of the case and then mount it on a tripod, and I'll demonstrate that later on. Now that is a smashing accessory for an action camera, and one that I will be using all the time. We've got the user manual and warranty card. I'll move them out the way. This is a safety cable, so you can actually connect the camera to it into something solid, and it'll prevent you from losing your camera if it falls off the mount. 4 assorted straps, 2 of each. These are Velcro ones, and these have got little buckles. A charger with a USB outlet, a USB to micro USB cable, 2 different mounts, and they've got self-adhesive stickers on the bottom, 2 spare self-adhesive stickers, 4 tie wraps, different adapters really to change the way that the mounts are configured, a handlebar mount, and then this is a tripod adapter, and it goes both ways. So you've got a normal tripod adapter at the bottom, you connect this to the case and then the tripod screw goes in there, or you can actually connect this to one of the mounts and then that screws in the tripod screw. Handlebar mount, lens cleaning cloth, there's loads of stuff there, and it's very versatile. For a starter kit it's absolutely brilliant. So the first thing I'm going to do is charge the camera, and to do that I've got to take it out of the case, and then I'll use the adapter with the USB connection and then the USB to micro USB cable to charge it. So I'll do that now. The camera doesn't come with a memory card, so I've installed a SanDisk Ultra 32GB Class 10 micro SD card, and I would suggest you go for a Class 10 card for this type of camera. So let's have a bit of a closer look at the camera. The power button is at the front there. If we press that for a few seconds, there's a little ringtone that comes in and a light to let you know that it's on, and if I flip it over to the other side, you can see the screen on the back of the camera. Now this is a real plus point with this camera because my GoPro does not have a screen. I do have a screen for it, but I had to pay something like £60 for it. This thing comes with a built-in screen, which means that if you can see the camera or the back of the camera, you can see exactly what it's filming and recording. This button on the top, which is a picture of a camera, is the record button. So if I press that, you'll see those red numbers come up at the top. That's the amount of time that the camera is recording. It's telling you that it's recording at 30 frames per second, and in that little box there it says 1080p. So it's recording at 1080p, 30 frames per second, and you can see that we've got the date and the time on the bottom there. Accessing the various functions on the camera is pretty easy. If you press a menu button at the top, it brings a list of all the functions on the camera, and if you press the menu button, you can go from video to photo to settings. And there are all sorts of different settings in there. It's fairly intuitive how to use this. So for example, if I select the video menu, press the down arrow, go to movie size, hit the record button at the top, it gives me 3 different selections. We've got 1080p at 30 frames per second, 720p at 30 frames per second, and 720p at 60 frames per second. The last one's pretty good for slow-mo. But I'm going to leave it set at 1080p, but if I wanted to change it I would just hit the down arrow and then the record button again, but obviously I want to leave that at 1080p, so I'll go back up to 1080p and hit the record button again. So it's very simple to change the parameters on the camera. I don't know how well this is going to show on the video, but it's very easy to read the screen, not difficult at all. We've got power button and a power light to let you know that the power's on. We've got the record button at the top, that LED there lets you know it's charging, and then on the side a Wi-Fi button. Now if I press that, you'll see now that we've got that blue LED on the screen. It's saying Wi-Fi connection. On the instructions it tells you to download an app called Aukey, and then if I go to settings on my iPad and Wi-Fi, Action DVR appears. I select that, and now my iPad is connected to the camera. If I go back to the Aukey app, it's connected. So now There you go. So you can see on the app what's going on now. I can record by pressing the record button. So I've basically taken control of the camera with the app, and I'll just record myself. Not a pretty picture at all, but it's recording now, so you can see that I'm using my video camera to film the camera. So it's very easy to record with the camera using the app. I found the app very easy to install and very easy to use. It was very simple. There was nothing complicated about it at all. Right from the start, when I agreed to review this camera, I wanted to know how it would compare to my GoPro, because the GoPro is the industry standard. So I'm going to record a couple of films, one of them on my quad bike using the GoPro and the Aukey camera side by side, and then I'm just going to record some video holding them hand in hand, one above the other, so we can compare both sets of video, and we'll see how this camera compares to this. A GoPro Hero 3 next to the Aukey camera. The bracket and all the fittings are from the packet that comes with the Aukey camera, and these are all the fittings that I've got for the GoPro. They're not perfectly aligned because the fittings are different sizes, but they will give us an idea of how each camera performs. So my intention is now to start filming, and I'll run around and record some video and we'll see what it looks like. So I think the GoPro video is definitely better than the Aukey video, but you pay 3 times the price for a GoPro, if not more, and the video is most definitely not 3 times better. In fact, I think the Aukey video is fine. I do think if I spent some time adjusting the camera's parameters, I would get the Aukey picture to look a lot better than it does. I'm pretty sure if I played with a white balance and 1 or 2 bits and bobs, I would get a better picture, but I'm quite happy with it the way it is. There is an issue with the sound on the Aukey camera. It's next to no use, even when it's not in the case. So if you want to record video and sound, then this is not the camera for you. Obviously, if it's in the waterproof case, you can't record sound to any extent anyway. So I like this camera. I think it's really good value for money. The accessories that come with it get you up and running straight away. There's enough there to get you going. You can mount it on a bike, you can mount it on a car, put it on your helmet, and you can get dabbling at action camera stuff right from the get-go. The only real criticism I've got with this camera is that it should come with time-lapse capabilities. I've done a fair bit of time-lapse photography in the past, and one of these cameras is brilliant for it. So come on, Aukey, all you need to do is change the software, I think, and get time-lapse on this. It should be fairly simple to do. I do think that Aukey should provide a small memory stick with it so you can get started right out of the box. So do I like this product? Yes, I do, and I do recommend it. For the price, I think it's very good value for money. I hope you've enjoyed this review, and thank you for watching.